Hello everyone and welcome to Flamethrower League. The
Flamethrower League
superior
Season 1. You see us sound so tired. Come on, it's exciting.
Flamethrower
The
League
first game we've been
Season 1.
playing.
Oh my god.
There you
Let's
go.
hype it up.
This is your host, Cazis.
This is your
There you
man
go.
Cazis with your other man Emu. We're so hype. Oh my god.
Okay,
Blood
okay,
Bowl is the
okay, okay.
hypest
It's
game in the
okay.
world.
Shh,
Okay,
it's fine.
okay.
It's gonna be okay.
Okay, we're
Ah,
back.
I'm
We're
done.
back. We're back. Let's talk
Anyway.
about the teams. It's another 16 team division. Let's jump straight in with the Man Bear Pigs. Under coach Stürmer. Half man, half bear, half pig. Factually correct. These boys are Norse. Norse like to punch people. They really like to punch people. They like it a lot. Their favourite thing. They like it that much because they've all got block, other than the Ulfwerners, who have strength 4 and frenzy. This is a kind of weird Norse build. It's the no Yeti build. Pretty good, but no runner, no thrower, and only one berserker, because he decided to start with an apothecary instead.
I
Nothing
mean,
wrong with it.
I guess it's safer. Yeah, and you have a
Yep.
shit ton of. I mean, you have block coming out of your ass, so
Yep.
it's gonna be pretty successful early on.
Honestly, Team Value 1000 Norse are one of the scariest teams in Blood Bowl, because there's just so much block. They never, alright, they can't really do anything with the ball, but you know they don't need to if they kill everyone on the other team.
They're gonna be going up against a human team. Just for further context, I mean.
Yeah, let's have a look at the schedule. Man Bear Pigs are indeed up against Badlands.
They're
and
against the
Bluefin
Badland
Bruise.
Bluefin Bruisers, yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. That's quite a nice matchup for them. It would have been nice if they had a runner, because then they would have had Dauntless to take on the Ogre, but as it is, the Ogre is going to be super strong. Only one Berserker. I like the Berserkers. There's a lot of frenzy in this team. I like the fact they've got both the Ulfwerners. No Yeti. That's fine as well. Yeti's kind of a niche choice. You don't have to take him. Apo for the Ulfwerners and the Berserkers. You don't really care about your linemen. And 3 rerolls. Yeah, this team will be scary to face in the first round, as all Norse
I
teams
mean,
are.
with the Apothecary keeping his Earthwarners and his Berserker safe, I mean, they're going to be able to get a fair share of SPP hopefully in the first couple of rounds, and he's playing extra safe, keeping them nice and backed up by the Apothecary. So.
Oh, agreed. The only trouble I see this team running into is that they don't have a ball carrier. Not a dedicated ball carrier. The Berserker's good, but he's more of a blitzer. The Ulfwerners are not going to be able to handle the ball, and then it's just linemen from there. And Norse die easy. Humans obviously much higher armor. That could get quite nasty if the armor rolls start going against Stürmer. He's going to get messed up.
He has 12 players as a side here.
So he does. God, I'm useless at picking up on
that. I've trained myself, but so yeah, he has that padding, right? He loses the lineman, whatever. Who cares? Have another lineman.
Yep.
Right. So
he's gone for the Soviet Russian. They'll run out of bullets before we run out of men.
Yeah, I mean it's a war of attrition here. So
I like it. Should we move on?
Yeah. Let's go.
Next up is a human team, the Pub Masters, Pubmaster 32. Exactly the same human team that we saw yesterday in Chainsaw, the Blazing Saddles. Thrower, catcher, ogre, 4 blitzers, and the rest linemen.
Yeah, and they're going to be going up against a necromantic team that has those werewolves and those I think whites.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's.
I
wonder how that's going to
go. Necro, we'll talk about this particular Necro team because it's gone a bit weird. This Necro team in Flamethrower has gone a bit strange, but generally humans perform pretty well against Necro. They've got more block. They can keep up to a certain extent. They also tend to have more strength. They also have catch and dodge. They have a dedicated ball handler. Ball handler.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, so they have a dedicated picker-upper of the ball and the thrower, which the Necros don't have. The linemen are pretty expendable.
I mean, they only have one, uh, well, dedicated ball handler though,
Mm.
in terms of the humans. So I mean, if the Necro team's lucky and they take him out, I mean, they won't be able to handle balls for the
No,
rest of the game.
no, their ability to handle balls will be massively detrimented if Hamish McCrary, the designated ball handler, goes out.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
let's hope
it's a
the
human
ball
team.
handlers
They
stay
all
safe. So
they always have a good chance. Moving on, we have the Blade Moon, which is Johnny Bravo 47's team. This is a Wood Elf team. See what he's gone for. Oh my god, this is an expensive Wood Elf team. Oh, this is high risk. I like it. I do. This is the one reroll Wood Elf build. You start off with 3 catchers, both your War Dancers, and a thrower. Yeah, this can score every 2 turns like clockwork, and there's not really a fat lot anyone can do about it. You just have to try and kill all of them.
yeah, and he's going up against Chaos, which I mean, they're not super strong early on, but there's still a lot of potential for getting some wounds in,
Oh
especially
yeah.
if you want to sacrifice a beastman to get some fouls in or something like that. But
Yeah, the difficulty they're going to run into is 5 dodge players and no block. Knocking these guys down, even with the catchers only having strength 2, so 3 die blocks not being out of the question, knocking them down is going to be a struggle if he doesn't roll well.
and as opposed to Chainsaw Division, there aren't a lot of dwarves
No,
in this league, so there's a chance that he'll be able to use
exactly.
one
I
of
think there's
his
actually
ability
only
to. I think there's two.
two dwarf teams. Yeah, one chaos dwarf, one normal dwarf, which is like so nice. Being a Agi team in this division is so much better than being an Agi team in your division. Chainsaw, that's rough. I think Johnny could get off to a really fast start with Blade Moon team. Uh,
He has to hope that he keeps his players alive.
yeah, and he
I
doesn't
mean,
have an Apo and he doesn't have any reroll. He's only got 1 reroll, so all it takes is 2 ones, and that's his turnover. And then for the rest of the half, he's in trouble. But as long as he plays sensible, plays safe, he's a level 20 coach. You'd think that means he's got some level of experience with the game. He should be
and
off to a good start.
another issue is that his catcher isn't grouped up with the rest of his catchers, and that's just
I'm not. It's okay. I can accept. Having seen Sarah's team from Chainsaw, I can accept just 1 out of line now.
yeah, you're scarred enough. So
Yeah, exactly. I don't even notice that anymore. It's like the 3rd time you get punched in the nose, it just doesn't hurt quite so much.
okay, well, we have a dark elf team, the best kind of bees.
Now this team just played against Chaos Team and it got murdered. The result of the game was a 2-2 tie, but dear God, this team took a beating.
Oh yeah, you're looking through the if you look through the player stats, it's looking pretty rough.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, so next game for Erebel, he'll be playing with team value 690 plus how many players will he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he'll be playing with 4 loners. That's gonna be rough for him. So yeah, he's gonna be playing like 200 disadvantage in team value. He lost. Who's actually dead on this team? Okay, the Witch Elf is not dead. He lost an assassin. Is it history? Let's have a look. Yeah, who died? Oh my God. Yeah, that was an absolute bloodbath of a game. But yeah, so this was a weird start for Dark Elves. You start with 2 Witch Elves, 2 Assassins, a Runner, and then the rest linemen. So no blitzers at all. So he's got no block.
Yeah, and I guess he paid for that.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Well, like 4 casualties. I mean, the 2 linemen are, one has 1 less movement allowance, one has 1 less armor. So
it's not the end of the world.
I mean, it's tough, right? I mean, for linemen, they're not cheap. They come 70k each.
Yeah, but for a Dark Elf lineman, Dark Elves rely less on their linemen to do things than most other Elf teams because they have so many good positional players. Alright, this team actually is relying on its linemen a lot more than most Dark Elf teams because they don't have any blitzers. But even so, I mean, losing an assassin early, that's rough. That's 90k just gone. Witch Elf's missed next. Luckily, she didn't get a stat penalty.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have my player out for a game than having to
Dead. Yeah.
fire
Yeah.
the character completely.
He did get a level up on his runner, and he got Nerves of Steel, which is really good for a runner. Because that means that he can always dump off, like, reliably.
Well,
Nerves...
I'm hoping they can just come back from this in some way, shape, or form. I mean,
well, the advantage
tough,
they have is
but...
the fact that both of their Witch Elves are only a vanity pass away from leveling. And it's
nice. Yeah, you're right.
It's really easy, obviously, as an agility 4 piece to get a vanity pass. So that's going to be pretty much next game. Mandy Mounds will definitely level up unless she dies, and after that, the second. Oh my God! I just realised the naming scheme on this team.
I mean, it is called the best kind of bees. You should be quite surprised. Except Udders. I feel like that's really the only one that's doesn't work too great.
Yeah, Olga Udders is not a particularly if you're just scrolling through your adult site of preference and you saw that, you wouldn't necessarily click that video.
No, but maybe chesticles.
Chesticles are bazongas. Bazongas is pretty good.
Anyway, let's
we digress.
they got a draw on, but a shit ton of casualties on that. So
yep, shit ton of SPP. I think they can come back from this. Only losing one player permanently, pretty good. So next up is Lizard Skinnerd. Yep. I like the name already. This is the team I'll be playing against.
I was gonna say they're going against High Elves,
which is me. But yeah, so standard Lizardman team. Not much to talk about here. Proxigor is going to be a pain because Prehensile Tail means that I dodge like I'm Agility 3. So I just need to make sure alignment stays on him all the time. Saurus...
Sacrifice something to the Proxigor and hopefully he rolls some ones and go ahead so you can escape. But
like our first couple of games when your Proxigor couldn't knock down my line rats to save his skin.
He was he was practicing,
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to this game. I think it's a good matchup for both teams. They both perform well at different things. So the Skinks obviously are going to be a huge threat to run past me and to run around me, and the Saurus are going to run through me and punch me. And I'm just going to sit in the back and throw balls over their heads.
Not the greatest for SPP potentially for Lizard Skinnerd going up against High Elves. I mean, they all have fairly high armor.
Yep.
Like 8.
Yep, it's above average. So yeah, this should be a good game. I'm looking forward to it. Move on to the Chaos Dwarf team. Bacon me crazy. Coach Appleman. What should we discuss here? 3 hobgoblins. They start with this full complement of blockers, 6 blockers, 2 bull centaurs, only 2 rerolls, and an apothecary.
I mean, it's nice to have the apothecary.
I don't know. I don't think I would start with an apothecary. I would probably...
He's playing it safe?
He's definitely playing it safe. I would probably have started with 5 blockers, 4 hobgoblins, and 3 rerolls. Just because the Chaos Dwarves have no ball handling skills. So scoring for them is going to be very difficult. Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, he is going against an undead team. And the slight little bonus here is that I'm quite sure that... No, maybe not. I'm wrong. Sorry.
Yeah, he's going against...
No,
Somebody to Love, yeah.
Yeah, he's going against an undead team, but...
Yeah, that's a pretty good matchup. I mean, they don't really have any way of dealing with the mummies, and if the whites get to the hobgoblins, they'll knock them down. The bull centaurs are pretty much impervious to anything the undead have to offer. Yeah, I think that's a good matchup, first of all. I mean, they'll run into problems if the ghouls get behind them. But, you know, there's a lot of SPP to be farmed by the blockers on the zombies and skeletons. And obviously, if the blockers get to the ghouls, the combination of block and tackle is going to make ghouls' life really horrible.
Well, I think that'd be a fun game to watch anyway.
I agree.
A lot of mayhem at the
Oh,
very
yeah.
least.
So next up we have an orc team. Burger, shake and fries under Coffee Chris. Let's see what we've got here. A nicely arranged orc team. I like it. 4 black orcs, 4 blitzers, 3 linemen, no thrower. So I guess they're going to be trying to pick up the ball with a blitzer. Again, this is kind of risky, not having sure hands. I don't know, it's a perfectly viable build.
As a note, I think this is important. A bit of luck, I think, in this player's case, is that they're going up against another orc team.
Yeah, that's going to be a snooze fest, honestly. Orc versus orc is not the most exciting of matchups. But yeah, orc, this could be quite... This is a nice start for both teams because they're unlikely to lose any players. Because, you know, orcs aren't the best at killing people early on, and they've got very high armor. But yeah, I think this orc versus orc pretty much has draw written all over it.
The other orc team, though, on the flip side, took a thrower. So Burger, Shake and Fries went with Fan Factor.
Yep. I mean, it's fine. I mean, he only had 30k left. I wouldn't have spent it there because I would have liked to have saved for an apothecary, assuming I was going to roll a 1 on my winnings in the first game. But you know, it is what it is. If you roll a 6, then you look like a genius.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And you know, in the event of the cheering fans, that will give him an extra reroll, which will help because he doesn't have sure hands. That's the biggest difference that you pointed out between the teams, is that the other orc team does have a thrower, which means he gets a free reroll to pick up the ball. So he could end up saving on rerolls there, which is always nice. Especially in like a mirror matchup, those small differences can really make the difference.
Well, I mean, we'll see how it goes. It could go either way, and potentially the thrower might have a small target on his back. He still has armor value 8, so he's still gonna be tough for Burger, Shake and Fries to take down. But you know, hey,
they can get to him.
Got to start somewhere.
Yeah, Coffee Chris has got the tough build. No one under armor value 9.
Yeah.
Moving on, we have the undead team. Zombody to love. We will eat you. I like it.
Oh, okay.
So,
where's that coming from?
A queen-themed undead team.
Great.
Not much to talk about here. Two mummies, naturally. 2 whites, naturally. Only 2 ghouls, which is cool. Saving some money there. Unlike the undead team in your league, who went with 3 ghouls. 4 zombies and a skeleton. Just your basic trash. They're going up against the Chaos Dwarves, yeah? So
Yeah.
they'll expect a lot of dead zombies. Well, a lot of more dead zombies. And again, if the blockers get to the ghouls, they're in trouble. So the strategy, I guess, for Clusterfuck here is to keep the ghouls away from the blockers, try and get the mummies to kill the blockers or the bull centaurs, and use your whites to kill the enemy hobgoblins.
That'd be really nice to take out a bull centaur early with a mummy.
Yeah. I mean, you're unlikely to get the opportunity because most people don't let their bull centaurs get punched by the opposing big guy, but you know, it's possible.
Yeah, anything's possible.
Anything's possible. This is a pretty standard undead build. I like it. It stands a good chance.
So we have the most likely to lose team coming up next.
Yep, this team's just terrible.
Oh, dang, that's you.
Yeah, these serial elfenders. They're great.
Oh, elfenders.
They're great.
Yeah.
Alright, I plugged that a bit too much. So this is my team.
I like elf jacks.
Yep, a high elf team with all the names after well-known breakfast cereals. As you say, App Elf Jacks is one of them. We've got Special Elf K.
I mean, it was my favorite one, but you
Yeah.
know, Frost Elf looking good too.
That doesn't really work in America because they call them frosted flakes, so it should have been frosted flake elf. But I didn't think about that because in England we call them frosties. But there you go. The more you
It's
know.
okay.
The more you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Two blitzers. I was debating whether or not to start with the catcher or to just buy another line elf and have 3 rerolls.
I mean,
Or
it's lucky though. I think that you went this way, but
I like the high elf catchers. I really want to play passing. I've chosen high elves and I want to pass with them, so it makes sense to have someone who can throw the ball, the thrower, and someone who can catch the ball, the catcher. That's just how it is. I'm playing against lizards first, so the thing to note about the catcher is that he doesn't have dodge, which means this, if a Saurus gets his hands on him, that's gonna be painful with only armor 7.
you only have two rerolls, 0 apothecaries. So I mean, the high elves by themselves are, from what I remember, they're high cost. They're high cost in
Yep.
general.
Yep.
So
Well, the lowest cost is the 70k mark, which is their linemen, and their positionals are much more expensive. It's pretty. I like the high elf team. The thrower's a bit slow, linemen are a bit slow, but the catchers and the blitzers are nice and quick. The blitzers are really good, agility 4 with block. They level up quickly. The catcher I'm hoping to get leveled up nice and quick so he can get block or dodge. Probably, I want to get probably dodge first. Yeah, and again,
but I guess
the advantage
we're
of
gonna see
playing.
lots of screening, right? So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
so
The advantage of playing in the Flamethrower League is that I'm not playing against too many dwarves, so dodge is actually a pretty worthwhile skill to get. But yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
you have more build opportunities, I
exactly,
guess.
exactly. You don't really want to be building a lot of dodge when you're playing against 4 dwarf teams. Jeez.
It's tough,
Yep.
tough time for my skinks, but
Yep.
hey,
Let's move on to the Entropic Gods. This was the Chaos team that so handily defenestrated the Dark Elves. But
are there windows in Blood Bowl?
I don't know, but if there were, they would have thrown them out. So, unfortunately for Take-On, his 4 SPP Chaos Warrior is dead. There's no point keeping him, that he should be fired straight away.
Yeah,
Minus
that's
strength on a Chaos
practically a
Warrior, there's
death.
no
Hey,
point. There are some arguments to be made that perhaps a minus agility is worth keeping because you just put him on the line.
oh yeah, I mean that's no issue, is it?
Yeah,
Uh,
that just alters the way you play with him, but there's actually no point keeping a strength 3 Chaos Warrior. You might as well kick him and replace him with a Beastman, because Beastman is actually better than a strength 3 Chaos Warrior because it has horns, so it's strength 4 on the Blitz. So that's the only permanent damage here. He did get a level up on the Beastman, has yet to apply it. Would expect either Sure Hands or Block, or perhaps extra arms because that's the mutation.
I mean, both these teams, they came out with injuries. Of course, the Chaos player here, Viencio. I mean, he came out ahead, but it still kind of sucks. You're losing a 100k Chaos Warrior. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely, it does suck, and luckily it seems like he rolled pretty high on his winnings. Because he has 80,000 in the bank. So what he could do is he could just fire the Chaos Warrior, run with the Beastman Loner for one game, and then rehire the
Chaos Warrior. Yeah.
I mean, he only started with 3 warriors and he lost 2 of them. So that's pretty unlucky. He started with the Minotaur, which, it's a nice flavor pick, but I think the Minotaur's pretty useless.
Well, it would be nice to have the money now, but hey, he still has a hard hitter up, and
Oh yeah.
he'll be okay. Hopefully.
Yeah, this is recoverable. It's a good start. Level up on the Beastman. Lots of SPP spread. That's the main thing you look for with Chaos is SPP spread because their levels are so important and also so hard to come by. Because mostly they're going to be getting levels through kills. But as it stands at the moment, there are 3 players who after the next game will level up with an MVP. That's really important for Chaos.
I mean, even his Chaos Warrior has 2 SPP, which I mean, it's a step in the right direction.
Yep, absolutely. Next up, we have another Chaos team, the Republic of Corn Army. Not sure if these are.
They were going up against the Blade Moon, for just
Yeah, this is the potential bloodbath situation. However, it's going to be tricky for this team to actually knock anyone over. But if they do knock them over, they're probably going to stay knocked over and then get stomped. That's probably
and this
the.
is
Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say this is the more standard Chaos build without
Yep.
the Minotaur. I mean, you have the 4 Chaos Warriors and then the rest Beastmen.
Yep. 4 Chaos
3
Warriors,
Pigman
3
rolls.
rerolls. Yep. This is my favorite ornament Chaos build. Nothing much to discuss. We talked about this twice yesterday.
Yeah, but I hope he does well against the Wood Elves. Maybe score some injuries against War Dance would be probably the
Oh my
best
god.
case scenario
Yeah.
for everyone in the league. But
I tell you, if this guy knocks people over, I want to see some fouls. Kill
yeah,
off the catchers, kill off the war dancers, get rid of them.
that's the goal here.
Yep, it's the only way to play. And now the Necromantic team, the Universal Monsters, coached by Whiskey Richard. Something very strange about this Necromantic team. They don't have flesh golems. I think this is a really clever decision by this coach. I spoke with him a little bit about it earlier, and his thought process just makes perfect sense. We're playing in a league with a huge amount of strength-based teams. We've got 2 Chaos, we've got 2 Orcs, we've got Undead, we've got Chaos Dwarves. Having 2 Strength 4 pieces to start with isn't going to get you that much of an advantage. Having 2 pieces with Claw, who can get through the high armor value teams, the Orcs and the Dwarves, and even the Chaos Warriors to some extent, really, really good. I love this team build, I really do. I think this is one of the more thought out teams that we've seen so far. And I really like talking to Whiskey Richard about his decisions on this team, because it's hard for me to picture a time where you don't take flesh golems. But in this league with the amount of strength, it makes perfect sense.
And he is going up against a human player, the Pub Masters. So, I mean, I think it's a good matchup for him personally. Yeah. I mean, he's going to be going up against the Ogre, but you just check your werewolves. I mean, maybe probably you don't even need to. I mean, if worst comes to worst, though, he could, right?
The thing is, yeah, that Claw gives him the option. And again, Frenzy, as we discussed throughout the team introductions, is, in my opinion, one of the better skills in the game because it forces your opponent to play differently. If the human player forgets about Frenzy, he could very easily find himself being surfed. And that's not a position you want to be in.
It's just nice to see that he has the options against human player, and he has the tools to play against them.
2 ghouls, very standard, nice to have dodge. They don't have any tackle on the human team. They do have 4 block, but there's block on the whites. Zombies don't really matter.
Nope, not not at all. But hey, I mean, let's wish them the best, and we'll see if they get lucky and make a zombie out of a human lineman or something. But
maybe we'll see. I mean, yeah, I'm interested to see that match. Hopefully, I'm around to catch it because I want to see how this Necro team plays. Next up, the human team, the Badlanta Bluefin Bruisers. No Ogre. That's the first thing I noticed with this team. And 12 players, actually.
now you're counting.
Now I'm doing it.
So you have the extra disposable lineman, but you have 4 blitzers, catcher, a thrower. I mean,
who are these guys going up against? They're going up against Manbear Pigs. They're going up against Norse. Oh god, I think they're gonna miss the Ogre in that matchup. I tell you, they're gonna miss having strength and mighty blow. I actually don't rate this team's chances against a Norse team. Especially not that Norse team. You know, the two Ulfwerners, the one Berserker, and then just the rest, just all linemen. Though the human linemen are going to get killed really quickly.
It's going to be tough, but I don't know. I think they're going to do okay against the Norse. I mean, if they lose a player, you just pull one out of your pocket. They have an apothecary on top of having an extra player. They have 3 rerolls. I mean, I don't think it's going to be too bad.
That's true. It really does come down to the injury dice. If they can, also if they get to go first, that's a big thing as well. Because if you get to go first against Norse, you tend to get 3 really good chances to either stun or knock out or injure your enemy, and then you can quickly get a player advantage. And Norse struggle to fight against a team with more players than them.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that earlier. I mean, let's take a look at the Man Bear Pigs. I mean, they have 12 players as well, and an apothecary.
Yep.
So getting that 1 player advantage is going to be temporary for both teams until they burn through what they have.
That game really could turn out to be a complete bloodbath.
So hopefully the human player can survive and keep some key players going. But
I mean, this is when Norse are the scariest, is when they're fresh against a fresh team, because just the sheer amount of block is just such enormous value. It means you're completely safe to throw, well, not completely safe, but you're much safer throwing your 1-die blocks. Makes your positioning easier, it makes your decision making quite a lot easier. Unfortunately, the next team hasn't completed their roster yet, so we'll skip over them. They're the Dwarf team in the league, the Pokemon Defense League.
And they're going up against Norse, so we get to jump right into the team they'll be facing.
Yep, so they'll be facing up against this Norse team, which is the Einherjar of Valhalla. And this is a similar but not the same build. It's 2 Ulfwerners, no Berserkers, a runner, 4 rerolls, and an apothecary.
He's Nuffle proofing.
He is, yeah. Build. Lucerus is clearly respecting Nuffle greatly. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, he has 4 team rerolls, so it should tell he's a lot of block as Norse do, and hopefully he can pull out a win against the Dwarf team. But
yeah, I mean, Dwarves are a tough matchup for Norse because they're much tougher, and the block advantage doesn't really pertain because
everyone
on the Dwarf team has block as well, other than the runners. They have a Dauntless piece in their own runner, which won't help them against Dwarves unless they go for a Death Roller, which is unlikely, but possible.
And now that he knows that he's going to get up against Norse first turn, hey.
Yeah, now that he knows what his matchup is, he probably won't go for a Death Roller if he checks out his opponent and sees they have a Dauntless piece. That said, a Death Roller is very good against Norse, because it will just kill all of the people on the line.
I mean, all armor value 7 is going to be felt.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Well,
and Norse also Norse don't really have the tools to score quickly, so you're much more likely to get a full half of use out of your Death Roller before it gets sent off. We'll have to wait and see. If he does choose a Death Roller, I'll be surprised, but also impressed. And then the last team in the league, the Mighty Orcs, under Smartin's 70-30.
Going up against the mirror match Orcs without the Thor, so...
Yep, and this, we've already discussed the difference between the 2 Orc teams is the fact that this team has a thrower, so should have an easier time picking up the ball. Other than that, the game will just be basically a slugfest. It's going to be a cage game, a slow game. It'll probably be one of the more tactical and sort of cerebral games of Blood Bowl that you'll see, because
it's gonna be like chess.
Yeah, exactly.
Every movement really counts. I mean,
yeah, it's moves and counter moves, and
you're looking for those 2 roadblocks and
exactly.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I do like about mirror matchups in Blood Bowl, is the fact that it is like a chess game. You do have to think, and if your opponent gets in your head a bit and you start thinking, oh, well, will he do this, will he do that, you have to sort of act on it, because you don't have any variation in your team. You can only do what he does, and he can only do what you do. So it can get into a bit of a sort of fake out situation.
I mean, and on the same vein, when you're saying that it's both mirror match, I mean, the only difference is the thrower. It's not huge. Any injury is going to be felt so hard because then your opponent can do so much more than you can do. I
Agreed.
mean,
Especially if it's a Black Orc.
yeah, losing like if a different example, like if you lose a Saurus against a Saurus, Wood Elf matchup, it's not going to be the worst because you're still going to be able to outbash him for the most part.
Yep.
If you lose a Black Orc in a Orc v Orc fight, I mean, you're permanently down, a lot of your firepower.
Exactly.
And it's gonna suck so bad.
Yeah, and the same with all the players other than the linemen.
Yeah, you're right.
Going down a player in any respect in a mirror match is, as you say, much more noticeable in my opinion than in a non-mirror matchup. I don't know. I'll be interested to see this game. Hopefully, I get to catch this one as well, because I'd like to see how this plays out.
It's gonna be a slow grudge match, but
yeah,
it'll be interesting.
It's gonna be kind of nice. I don't know about Smartin's experience, but I know that Coffee Chris has played a lot of tabletop. So he's a bit out of practice, but he knows the basics of the game. He understands the general idea, and he is an experienced orc coach. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Well, that's the first little catch up of a Flamethrower League. The game already out of the way for the Chaos and Dark Elf team, both taking like high casualties, making that they're going to be easier to face off against in the next round, but
it also potentially means we could see some wizards quite early.
Yeah, that's going to suck.
Yep.
We'll see how the other games go. I mean,
yep.
They might all end up taking casualties for all.
I mean, we spoke about it a bit yesterday in the Chainsaw League. There's going to be a lot of very badly hurt teams in both leagues. The amount of bash that is going on here is extreme.
But at the same time, kind of standard. There's a lot of bash, but it's kind of to be expected.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, it's definitely to be expected. I mean, and it can certainly work out in a longer format tournament. Generally the bashy teams in a 7 or 8 game season don't get enough SPP to get scary. In a 15 game season, they absolutely will. You can count on it. You can count on the Chaos teams having some claw palm. You can count on the Dwarf teams having so much guard you can't ever throw a block.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be kind of murderous. So, I mean,
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to my game tomorrow against Moth in the Lizards.
That's good.
You're playing tomorrow as well, I believe.
I'm trying to get in contact, but anyway, yeah, no, I'll hopefully play tomorrow.
Let's see, who you? Oh, that's Flamethrower. Alright, let's throw. You're playing.
Well, let's finish this one off.
Yep.
We can talk
cool.
about that, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, take care.
Yeah. Let's see you later.